It's the Casimir Engine Show podcast. Hey, it's an extra special one because it's an express podcast. And the reason being is that Kaz made a cock up earlier this week, and I'll play you a bit of it later.
You're listening to the Casimir Engine.
That's Cock Up Kaz.
Hasn't that been done to death? Isn't that so 90s?
You think so?
Casimir Engine.
It's the Casimir engine. It's not KKK.
This is Eric C. Powell. He contacted the show via Twitter. Andrea Powell's on vocals. If you want all the details, don't forget you can catch it on Twitter at Casimir Podcast.
Tonight I fight to find the light. Where can I go? Where can I go? My heart, it beats, my mind repeats. Where can I go? Where can I go? I need a place that makes me whole again. Somewhere that I can just be free. Oh, you're the one that makes me see again. Right here is where I need to be. Today I pray, I want to stay. Where could I go? Where could I go? I'm not alone. My love is home. Where could I go? Where could I go? I need a place that makes me whole again. Somewhere that I can just be free. Oh, you're the one that makes me see again. Right here is where I need to be. I need a place that makes me whole again. Make me whole. Right here is where I need to be. I need a place that makes me whole again. Somewhere that I can just be free. Oh, you're the one that makes me see again. Right here is where I need to be.
That's Eric C. Powell and Andrea on vocals. They are from Austin in Texas. I don't know why, it seems to be like a wellspring of electronic artists. And it's that South by Southwest thing while we're recording this, I think. That's brilliant, love it. It's played in the Casimir, it's got to be good. That's Need a Place. Oh, Kaz, what's happened this week? Tell us what's happened this week. You won't believe it. It was awful. It was awful. Hey, the good news is I've bought a new cap. I had a dream of buying a cap. And I went out and I just spaffed not a load of money. It was more than I'd ever expect to spend, but it was some money that came by way of me kind of entering a competition. And I got a free Amazon voucher and I spent it all on a cap. Anyway, you can see all that on the Facebook page. How do we get in touch with you? At Casimir Podcast on Twitter, at Casimir Podcast on Facebook, www.casimirengine.com. That's for all the website stuff, photographs, all that kind of thing. And of course, it's the Casimir Engine Show podcast on Facebook. So what's happened, Kaz? Come on, spill the beans. Well, I had an interview lined up for today. Well, I did it yesterday. So I met this guy, lovely, lovely bloke. Got all my gear set up, started recording. I said, I need to pop out to the car. I said, I'll put this all on pause. So I pressed the button, went out to the car, got some stuff, and I hadn't pressed the button properly, so it was recording while I'd gone to the car. Got back in, I said, I'll start recording again now. Pressed the button, switched everything off, didn't know about it. 2 hours later, after chatting, got back, and honestly, I must have sat there for an hour last night trying to find it when I just knew that it wasn't recorded. I knew it wasn't recorded, and jokingly, I was telling this back, I said, wouldn't it be funny if I hadn't recorded this? Lo and behold, Cock Up Kaz strikes again.
To be
That's the fantastic Valley of the Crows. They're from Cardiff. Oh, love that to bits.
You're listening to the Casimir Engine Show podcast.
So what's on your express podcast then, Kaz? That's not very express at the moment. At this rate, it's going to be as long as a normal one. Well, not a while ago now, probably about 3 years ago, something like that. I went to Rough Trade Records to see a band called Public Service Broadcasting, and I was lucky enough to interview them backstage. So I thought, what I'll do is I'll chop it up a bit, stick some music in between. Voila, a podcast with famous people on it chatting to me. Unbelieve. So yeah, but I will play you a little bit of the interview, the lost tapes, the Casimir Engine lost tapes. So we're going to be catching up with Public Service Broadcasting in a bit. We've had music from Eric C. Powell. We've had Valley of the Crows. I've got a new band to the Casimir Engine Show and the Casimir Engine Show podcast called Grasshopper. They're from Brighton. Actually, I've got Austin, Texas, Cardiff, Brighton and Bournemouth tonight. Grasshopper have got a definite kind of, even though they're from Brighton, they've got that kind of Manchester-y dark feel, you know, from about the early 90s. See what you think. You're listening to the Casimir Engine Show podcast.
The best podcast in the world. It's the Casimir Engine Show.
Thanks for that, Willow. Thanks for that vote of confidence for the disaster that is the Casimir Engine this week. I've got a lot on my plate. I'm going to Scotland on Thursday. But we're going to be catching up with Public Service Broadcasting, my chat with the guys at Rough Trade Records in Nottingham. I think it was 2 days after the launch of the album Race for Space. I went to see them with the Little Hallam Posse, regular listeners. Met up with Jay Wild Goose. Hello, do you mind if we have a chat afterwards? He thought I was a top muso journalist, I think. And very kind he was too. And I even criticised David Bowie while we're having a chat. Can you believe that? Me criticising David Bowie. Get a grip, Kaz, get a grip. So you're listening to the Casimir Engine Show Podcast Express. Also, in between the tracks, in between the chat, we'll be having tracks from Stocks and Skins. They've got a new album out. Stocks and Skins are from Bournemouth. All you need to do is you need to let me know the name of the new album. You can find that on www.analogtrash.com. Tell me the name of the album, and I've got here, hang on a minute, yeah, I've got badges. I've got Stocks and Skins badges to give away. So let me know. We've already given away a White Peak Distillery keyring. We've given away badges galore. So yeah, I've got Stocks and Skins, and I might make it up into a Casimir Engine Show podcast goodie bag. So, yeah, name me the new Stocks and Skins album. I'll send you a badge. And maybe I'll send you a cassette of Stocks and Skins. How about that? You're listening to the Casimir Engine Show podcast. Here we go. Let's grab a chat with Public Service Broadcasting. Do you prefer these kind of gigs to the bigger gigs?
They're different. There's different kind of ups and downs to both of them. It's really nice here being so close to people and knowing that so many people have kind of got that experience of being really close to the action. I think that was one of the things playing the Kaiser support tour. You just kind of realise how massive those rooms are. But at the same time, you don't have room in a small venue like this, on a small stage like that, to do some of the sort of bigger and more kind of production heavy type things. We couldn't get all our instruments on, we couldn't get all our visual stuff on, so it's different. It's different.
Does it take you back to the beginning?
It does a bit, yeah, and I think it's I get a lot of pleasure of the fact that this is this kind of how we came up this way. We didn't kind of get parachuted in with massive label money behind us and massive marketing spends and sort of go straight into playing 1,000 capacity venues. We've worked our way up the old-fashioned way and really paid our dues, and I think that's it's nice coming back to places like this and sort of remembering that.
I got to ask you the question then. What came first, Public Service Broadcasting or the music? Is it a marketing? Is it a brand?
If you ask our manager, he'd say it was. Yeah. I don't know. Then I started making the music, and then started wondering how would you present this if you're going to maybe write 2 or 3 songs like this? How's it going to work? And then I thought maybe a concept album where each song was a different public information film, maybe that would work. And then just started sort of going about putting together a little live set, and so Public Service Broadcasting kind of like evolved around the songs, I suppose.
Yeah.
It's weird. I watched a documentary about Bowie recently, and he tried a lot of different things before he found the thing that was right for him and that made him connect with people. And without wanting to compare myself to him, because he's obviously a genius.
Except for the last album.
Well, I haven't heard it still, so I can't comment. But I sympathise with that, because I played in loads of bands over the years, and then just started doing this for fun. And this is what's really, as soon as I just gave up trying to make it and just decided to make music for fun, this has been what's kind of broken us, and it's great.
You're listening to the Casimir Engine Show, and it's great.
treat me like that. Just filling in and breaking my back to fill in the cracks. Paper cracks turn to gullies of cracks. Rushing, filled with danger. Gotta change my tact. After all, this is just a big act. I see life through black and white, waiting for people to put things right. Things push me away from the light, ploughing heavy trenches, just finding it too bright. On my knees. Twisted slants, eyebrow frowns, white picket fences that should be brown. Big black holes out of control, dark danger on the corners. Vandals run the night, spraying and painting everything bright. Dogs bark, stop and stare, crime fills the damp dark air. Clouded judgments everywhere, delusions of getting things a little bit wrong. Scared to stand up and face the fight that's behind every corner. Blinding lights through the night, so scared of getting the facts just right. Cause what we have when you line it all up, oh shut up, sit down, you got no luck. In a situation of confusion and loss of control, how do you feel stepping into my world? Day by day, that's how we live, so jog on, I told you, you got no luck right here. How does it feel when you treat me like this? How does it feel, the pressure I feel? It's all on me. What happened to the simple days of sunshine and tea? I struggle to balance the plates of misconception, side orders of doubt and painless reflection. Infected towns, that's where we live. Health warnings everywhere, you can't ignore now. Massacres of people in small hick towns. Interstate freeways, go on, let loose the clown. Well, I guess this is it, the world we've made. Stage to set, better get used to it. Well, me, I just try and forget. Well, me, I just try and forget. Detach myself from what I know. Struggle to talk to the other me. Scared when he's coming, when he's gonna jump out of his box. Eyes closed, look at the skies, he's coming again. It started again. See, there's two of me. Well, you wouldn't know. Look at me now, how would you know? So let's start a war and get this done. When you treat me like that, I've done nothing wrong. It pushes me into corners I don't want to go. I guess I'm bullied by him and forced to go with the flow. This ain't pretty, don't get me wrong. I didn't choose to sing this song. I didn't choose to sing this song.
That's the amazing Stocks and Skins.
You're listening to the Casimir Engine Show, recorded live in front of a studio audience.
How do people accept you in? You're going on a big tour now. You've got Montreal, you've got Australia, New Zealand, I think. Yeah. How do they take you over there?
We don't know yet. We've not been, so we might get kicked out. They might not even let us in. What kind of music is this? Get out. We'll see. I think it'll be all right. You know, New Zealand will be good because we've got the Hillary connection, and he's just such a massive deal over there that I think, you know, Everest is going to go down well. And we've had some nice reviews from over there. I've spoken to a lot of nice New Zealand journalists. Australia is a bit more of a question mark, but I think, you know, I think there's enough in our music that I think there's a good chance it'll go down well.
You've acclimatised here tonight anyway because it was boiling in there. But the new album, so when did the first idea really happen for The Race of Space?
I think it was about 2.5-3 years ago, working on the War Room and trying to think like this is I found that a really satisfying way of working and thinking, where could you go next after this? And it really appealed to me to do space because it was kind of moving forward in time and, you know, getting slightly more current and contemporary, and such a massive subject that I thought it'd lend itself really well to kind of expanding the sound in interesting ways as well. And then, you know, just a general period of like research and discovering that our friends at the BFI had a massive load of Russian films in their collection all of a sudden, and it's all come together over sort of two and a bit years, I suppose, quite slowly.
It's a fantastic album, and I think Radio 6 had it as album of the day today, so I'm sure it'll go from strength to strength, and good luck on the tour.
Thank you very much. Nice talking.
From Matlock. It's the Casimir Engine Show podcast.
You stay in bed all day, 'cause the nighttime is for living. I with another pill. So put your best dress on, it's time to make a living. Cheap powder in the back where you keep your face. Take a look, take a look, take a look in the mirror. Put your lipstick on, let it smudge on his collar when you should be leaving. Take a backseat ride with your girlfriend's guy in a car that's cruising. Kick your high heels off, cold leather on the seat, tingle down your spine when he's in. Turn the stereo up in a car called Desire. That's where they begin.
That's the absolutely banging A Car Called Desire from Virtue Mend, featuring Aaron knocking it out of the park on them vocals. Oh yeah. From Dublin. Got that sent for a St Patrick's Day prezi. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Casimir Engine Show Podcast Express. Sorry about the cock up. All things should be back to normal next week. Thank you very much for downloading. Don't forget to share it, pass it around, tell all your mates.
The Casimir Engine, reliably mediocre.